I read the tabloid papers pretty much every day, and I love the tabloids. I think they're a really important part of our culture. But because of how my mind works, or doesn't work, depending on your perspective, I end up writing jokes about people that are in the papers pretty much every day. You know, whoever's famous and in the papers, I'll write a joke about them. I thought I might take you through some of my favourites. I've done some pictures to illustrate. Or more accurately, my friend Chris has done some pictures. Is Chris in, by the way? Yeah. Is Chris there? Hi, Chris, how are you? Chris is the man that did all the pictures for all of the stuff in the show. Let's give Chris a round of applause while we think about it. Hang on, let's get a camera on. Chris, stand up a second. Go on, come on, take a bow. Come on, take a bow. Fucking brilliant. And he's done, and Chris actually has, you won't mind me saying, will you? Chris actually has a personality disorder that actually makes it very difficult for him to communicate with other people. Chris is Scottish. It's tragic, but you've really come through. He spent all the money on heroin and shortbread. I paid him in heroin and shortbread. Right, let's go through some famous people jokes. Fern Britton, you all know Fern Britton? Yes. Fern Britton had a gastric band fitted to one of her stomachs. I say a gastric band, it was actually the fan belt from a 747. Keira Knightley was in Heat, so I fucked her. Madonna is 50, but she's got the body of a man half that age. It's a funny picture, man. What did you make of Madonna adopting those Malawian babies? What did you think? I mean, I can see why she's done it. We've all seen the adverts in the papers for African children. They're only £1 a week to feed. Must be weird for those two kids now, because they're now wearing clothes they made 6 months ago. Jordan Split's been all over the papers. She should be more careful getting out of the car. Chris, why did you do that? Amy Winehouse is a terrible way for any young woman to die. She looks like she needs a good bath. And then that bath needs a good clean. And then that cleaner needs a day off. She recently received a slap on the wrist, desperately trying to find a vein. Let's face facts, Amy Winehouse is so full of drugs, if she ever has to go to prison, she'll have to be smuggled in up someone else's arse. I would just like to say that Amy Winehouse is no longer on drugs. I think possibly there were rumours in the papers that she did drugs at some stage, but she doesn't do them anymore. And really, you know, it's none of our business whether she does or not. I'm only saying that because I like that joke and I'd like it to make it onto the DVD. Hello, the lawyer at Channel 4. Don't fucking cry. People give Susan Boyle a hard time, but I think she's a good-looking fella. Subo. What do they call her? The hairy angel? That sounds like a euphemism, doesn't it? As in, well, she's not a bad singer, but I wouldn't want to see a hairy angel. People give her a hard time, but she shares over 97% of her DNA with humans. Did you read about that break-in? Apparently there was a break-in at her house. She found a burglar in her hallway. First time she's ever had a man in her front passage. Come on, everyone, it's a front passage joke. The Queen, our Queen. Hey, let's not be like that, shall we? You are her subjects. The Queen, of course, has 2 birthdays, which I think goes some way towards explaining why she looks so fucking old. Must be great for Prince Philip, though. Every time he looks at a £20 note, he thinks, I've had that. His favourite sexual position is the stamp. Takes her from behind, licks the back of her head, loves it. Of course, the Queen has her real vagina and her official vagina for special occasions, as do all women. No, you're quite right, Glasgow. Talking about the Queen having sex is actually a bit of a grey area. Now, the big tabloid story of the last year was the death of Michael Jackson, and for me, it was very much like when Diana died. I couldn't give a fuck. It's not just me that thinks towards the end he was just a pale imitation of the man he used to be. He'd lost face. And now he's gone, the rumour mill is in full swing. There's a rumour that the real reason Michael Jackson died is that when he was rushed to hospital, somehow he ended up in the burns unit. And then he wound up in the children's ward. And then he had a heart attack. He's gone, but I like to think he's up there somewhere, walking backwards on the moon. He wore one white glove. Part-time snooker referee. It's quite a stupid joke. Before his heart attack, he had a series of strokes, which ruined his career. At the funeral, his brother Jermaine gave a touching tribute, which hardly seemed appropriate. Michael Jackson, R.I.P. Do. Should we treat ourselves to one final Michael Jackson joke? Yeah. Before he died, Michael Jackson picked the hymns. He said, I'll have hymn 14, hymn 13, hymn 12. I did a gig for Alzheimer's sufferers. It was brilliant. 2 hours, one joke. I did a gig for Alzheimer's sufferers.